Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to KwingsLetsPlays and the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, brought to you by our friends over at Capcom, who provided a copy for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. So today begins the final chapter, I believe.
Awesome.
At least that's what somebody was telling me. We have like a Sherlock Holmes logic and reasoning thing, which will last for about 15 minutes, and then we jump into the final chapter of the game.
Wait, someone was saying there's a Sherlock Holmes thing?
Yeah, there's a Sherlock Holmes thing.
I hope not. Nope. I hope whoever that is wrong.
There is. There is.
I don't know. Maybe the person was wrong.
Sherlock Holmes, logic and reason spectacular.
No offense.
First thing in the morning, yes.
No offense to whoever said that, but you could be wrong. I don't want to do a Sherlock Holmes thing.
I think we'll call this episode The Final Chapter Begins.
Hype Train Troggle! Great to see you, and great to see everyone in the chat. Thank you for becoming a member, Hollowed, and Halloween. Thank you so much, Halloween.
Yeah, so
thank you.
Just to be really brief with you guys, the video that went up today describing the shape of the channel, all that stuff's true, but there are ways that people can help. Watch a couple shorts a day. You know, you can't re-like a video, obviously. That would be nice if you could re-like and share videos every day, but one like always. And
we also got another member earlier, Chippy.
Yep, I saw new members. That's perfect. The 300 members thing would be, you know, I mean, that would be basically about the amount of money that's being taken away from us a month. Like, after... I did notice that right now the channel is about 88 or 89,000, like, after 48 hours, so you guys are doing pretty good so far. The short looks like it's gonna hit, like, 2,500 views, like, after Ace Attorney or a little before, I don't know. So, I mean, that's good, that's a good start, so you guys give yourselves a round of applause. Tomorrow will be a Spider-Man short, so we'll need a big push for that. But anyway... let's get into the Sherlock Holmes thing, and WarioWare is your next stream after this.
If you can't become a member, then please rewatch the shorts.
Yep, if you can't become a member every day, rewatch like a handful of shorts, like 4. Yeah. Any ones, preferably like, I mean, the Batman ones or whatever.
There are many things you can do to help the channel, because... like, basically, Luke, if you guys haven't seen it, Luke made a long video today about it. And our channel does have the possibility of not being here in a month or two if things don't turn around.
Well, if YouTube continues to sabotage the way it is,
so, it's not anyone's fault, but YouTube is sabotaging us. But what you can do is like and share, write a comment. A comment will help a lot. You know, like the video, you know, just go to one of our videos, especially if you don't have time to watch a 20 or 40 or an hour video. Please go and watch a 30-second short video.
Yep.
It will help us so much. You have no idea how much will help just rewatching those.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, that's why, I mean, we started doing the YouTube shorts because people said that, you know, there were videos that we made that are too long for them to watch. It's like, well, I mean, you can always check out the little highlight clips and things like that. It all helps. The shorts have the potential to bring the channel back every day. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ethan says, I'm gonna go rewatch all of them. That's really sweet of you, Ethan.
Alright, here we go, guys. Logic and reasoning of Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. Whoa!
Oh.
What is going on? What's the singing? And why is the chest open? Her tea set's broken. What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream? Oh no, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concern. That's the least of my concerns. What is going on?
Oh, thank you, OH. Says I will rewatch them even 100 times if I have to.
Well, I mean,
It's very sweet, OH.
Before we begin, let me explain how the shorts thing works.
Oh yeah, guys, it only counts 1 view per day.
One view per day.
So if you did watch it 100 times in one day, then they would only count it once.
Yeah.
So best thing to do is just watch it once and then wait till the next day to watch it.
So basically, if you're watching...
Just before you guys go... Oh, just before
Right.
you guys go, like, and spend all the effort to help us.
If you're watching on your phone, click our icon, like, on your phone, and then it'll give you a list of all our YouTube shorts, and just, like, when one short ends, watch another one. Just watch, like, 4 of them a day, and you'll see a lot of stuff change overnight. Susie's turn.
Thank you so much, Sons of Gaming. Says, been lazy in the chat leaving comments, but I'm used to live chat and Premiere. Thanks, Sons of Gaming. Okay. Thanks for the super chat. And we really appreciate what you said, OH. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Sons of Gaming. Iris. And also Ethan and everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Iris looks like she might have slipped a Mickey in that guy's tea.
I feel like he broke her tea set.
No, I think she did it. Iris, what's the matter? What did you do?
She's upset. Who is that sprawling? I mean, relax, gentleman over there.
She can't recognize her own father with the mask. I mean, there's not that many Japanese people in London right now. Iris, is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be so kind to explain the situation? Well, that worked.
Is he singing?
Ah, a crooning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing experience, yes? And one that appears to have excited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean?
No! Ah, yes. The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia. Uh-oh. Whilst the other is a Morse theme about a great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. She's turned as white as a sheet.
So, as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter.
Ah, and by the time of my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Music Land, where all this sweetness and delicacy and harmony exists. Pray do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Yeah, here we go. The Great Deduction. The game is afoot again. Man's identity. Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of English language.
German?
As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to detest. So, why is this man here at all, and in such an apparently high spirits? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. Oh. Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason of the man's mildly irritating, wobbling is revealed by the herbal tea. Oh, she's got a puffy face, like, you obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's, delectable flavor has made the man's spirits soar. And the result in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself that I may join the fellow in a state of elation. She spiked his tea.
With what?
I don't know. Now, to the next question. Who exactly is the gentleman availing himself as thoroughly on the seat over there? I mean, you can't tell that's Mikatoba? As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particular delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gösterich Sigismund, something German.
Yeah, something right.
The King of Germany. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical.
Or could be Reek.
Yes, there could be no question the mask belongs to the King of Germany.
No.
It would appear that His Majesty remembers that the fine service I afforded him and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude.
It'd be so weird to visit someone's house in a mask.
Yes, a well-mannered monarch indeed. Wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? So the identity of the masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. Indeed, his son is currently in London as well as enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. No, it's your former. It's your Watson, you dummy.
The King of Germany.
Oh, why?
The King of Germany really shows Sushana.
Which leaves us with one remaining, thing. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed in the knapsack behind your back. £5 note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the King's secret. And now, the final piece of the puzzle. What is this secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes. We need only follow that brief involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You are attempting to abscond with the coffee cup. My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears this high-spirited highness broke in to the midst of his hijinks, which leads us to the sad truth. My favorite coffee cup is broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me! Oh, I shall have a bill sent to the governmental channels to the German of the royal family for its replacement. My teacup. To hide the coffee cup. That was actually the fastest logic and reasoning for Holmes. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle of the broken teacup.
They drink coffee in England? Because I thought they only drink tea.
Wow, he's still singing. With your silence as well, the fellow's warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Ha 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 ha!
Doesn't Iris go to school, or... Oh, Mr. Sholmes!
No, she's probably homeschooled.
By Mr. Sholmes?
Yeah.
I must say, something does rather trouble me, though.
Pray, Miss Susie, do tell me.
His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived.
Ah! And you haven't said a word either, Iris. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you might as well own up to it now. Before we begin, I just want to say a couple things. Notice her tea set is broken, his teacup is broken, as well as the chest is open. My logic and reasoning is the chest belongs to the masked man. The masked man is her father. That's... Because remember, she said that chest belongs to her dad. And it's never to be opened.
Oh.
So, he went back to Sholmes' suite and opened up the chest, and then she gave him tea and was trying to find out who he was. That's my thing.
Or maybe she went into the room and he was opening the chest and she was like, what is going on here?
Thank you to our newest member. We appreciate it, Isaiah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaiah!
Great job.
You're
Everybody give
breathtaking.
Isaiah a round of applause.
And you had another member that said that they they were having certain problems, but then they're gonna renew. Matthew Smith
Okay.
is gonna renew on the 26th, and so I'm gonna try to rejoin the channel, maybe even another tier if I can help. Thank you so much, Matthew Smith. So,
I mean, whatever tier you guys can do, it helps the channel. 300 members, $5 times 300. $5 times 300 people is basically our rent. So I mean that is essentially what we would be losing from the channel a month, almost. So I mean that would pick things up tremendously. And the 12 ultimates that we already have, that's a livable income for one channel. So even if YouTube were to kill our views and make it like only 25 to 30,000 views a day, which would be what it forever would be, because of how much content we release. But anyway, your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. Thank you so much for the hero hype. You guys are amazing. Thank you. God bless.
Hero hype.
And one other thing, Mr. Shomes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Naruhodo? Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of the case recently, the one you were just describing. And according to that at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia. Ah, goodness, was it? Whoops.
We had a Bohemian character on this.
Yeah.
The little Bohemian prince.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched a documentary on Bohemia, and they are related to Germans in a way. Yes, that's quite true, Master Gotts. The prince testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia.
Ah. I would ask you to keep that in minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal.
I believe, Mr. Naruhodo, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to a number of minor errors that may have slipped in.
Yes, even Mr. Shomes is willing to admit that he might be slightly wide off the mark this time. Although, it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something. We need to find out the truth behind this mysterious scene. But untruth is incontrivable. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again? On a jaunt presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular?
Thank you, Isaiah says. Happy to finally become a member. Thank you so much, Isaiah.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Holmes. The King of Germany.
That's right. A Drago hero hype.
Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly he's German, with no grasp of the English language.
Yeah, but Germany and Bohemia are two different countries.
As evident of the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand what asked to detest. So, why is this man here at all and in such an apparently high spirits? Because someone spiked his tea.
I don't understand.
The answer, of course, is Iris. Is clearly known to you. And she's like, oh. Indeed, we need to follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel the particular part of this mystery. The reason of the man's mildly irritating singing is revealed by the herbal tea in his possession. Okay, so what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing?
Goodness, I should like to try some.
And I'd like to hear you sing, but this man... just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose?
As I said, he's been stuck still the entire time. And if you look closely, his lips aren't even moving. It's probably on a record then.
Ah.
So I'm not sure what's actually responsible for the spirited singing coming from there. But I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze.
Okay, so let's see at the end of Iris's gaze. Oh, there's the music. Yeah, you were right, Amber. Look, you can even see it in the background.
It's on the record player.
Yep. Wait, what is this?
It's a gramophone, Ryunosuke. Still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn.
But machine's singing! That can't be right!
Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Ryunosuke. What's right is changing too.
It's too much for my brain, Miss Susie.
Well, at least we found our answer.
Okay.
Take that!
Boom! Alright, we're on the right track so far. The reason for the man's mildly irritating singing is actually the gramophone. Ah, indeed! For no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all, in fact. It would appear that the fellow is unconscious. Oh. Ah, the music seems to have finally stopped now.
End of the record.
I ask you, Mr. Naruhodou. Yes, what is it? Why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Anyway, well, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly on my seat, my settee, or whatever it's called?
Settee, yeah, settee, whatever.
On my love seat.
Yeah.
As it happens, a number of years ago now,
Couch.
a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particular delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottes, German. The King of Germany. If memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yes, there can be no question the mask belongs to the King of Germany. Iris is like, you dummy. Although we've already established that it was actually the King of Bohemia.
Oh, it seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with his Germany theory for some reason.
Maybe he likes Germans. Come to think of it, the young prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he?
Mr. Goetz? The boy whom you had in tears?
Don't remind me of, or anyone else, please.
Do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks?
I'm sure they do. Well, probably. Anyway, the point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king, right?
No, that's right, as we well know, because we can identify the true owner of the mask.
Take that!
Oh, Yujin Mikitoba, not German? Nani?
Who? I just thought this might be the mask's true owner, but, not as far as I'm aware. It is him! Now remind me who you are again? Sorry. I do my best to forget those who spectacularly hamper my logic and reasoning. Make your exit, please. Leave the deduction limelight to those who deserve it, Mr. Naruhodou. But it's him! I thought you'd forgotten my name. It's totally him. Come on.
Such a creepy looking mask. Oh, we of all people should know that mask. It's Kazuma's.
That's right. After all, it's been here on the coffee table for some time now. Although, how it came to be here, I really don't know, actually.
Let's not worry about that little detail for now. The point is, we ought to be able to clear up the matter of who owns the mask very easily.
Okay, so it's supposed to be...
Thank you for becoming a hero, Nana Kyamono.
Thank you for becoming a hero. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Nana Kyamono.
Alright, so, there can be no question the mask belongs to... Kazuma. Right on track, Amber. Good job. Yes, there can be no question the mask belongs to Kazuma Asogi. Ah, in other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. Only you could try to make that sound positive, sir. Yes, well, Kazuma's mask has been languishing on this metal chest for several days now, though that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask and peer beneath it.
It's what's his name?
It's her father. Susie's dad. I don't believe it!
Ah! Father? Father!
I'm afraid, Miss Susie, you must be
No, I think not, Mr. Sholmes. I think she knows what her dad looks
Then
like.
it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. So, this mysterious visitor... Nope.
Is my unconscious father, Yujin Mikatoba.
Logic and reasoning? Or just looking and saying? Alright, so the King of Germany, Yujin Mikatoba. Okay. Alright.
It's just weird that he thought that was the king of Germany.
I mean, Sholmes is... He's an idiot savant.
It's
so,
pretty
I mean,
interesting that he's actually worked with the king of Germany before, though.
Which leaves us with one remaining, imponderable? Imponderable?
Imponderable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you young Iris. Da-da-da. But your apparently, your silence is unable to hide the truth, by the way. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside your knapsack. So that's the £5 note poking out from Iris's knapsack, is it?
Oh dear. I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form.
I know. I'm not even sure if we even have any banknotes here in Britain at all. Have we?
But anyway, Father would have never paid money for Iris's silence.
He certainly seems like the silent type himself, though judging by his present state. There must be some reason for Iris's silence, I suppose.
Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes is something entirely different. The chest. Cheyenne says, I think it's the chest. This metal chest? It contains important documents, doesn't it, Ryunosuke?
Yes, details of all the cases Mr. Shom has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris's father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside of it.
Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose, and entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch. It's unlocked for once.
Ah, so it is. That's hard to ignore.
Very. I've never seen that chest unlocked before in all the time we've staying here at Baker Street. We've been staying here.
Take that!
Yep, knapsack doesn't matter. Actually, Sholmes, yes, the reason for her muteness is concealed inside the metal chest. Ah, an excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest's appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. Here we go.
No! Holly, don't!
Oh my gosh!
It is a booby trap.
Mr. Shams!
Holly! Oh, that's why, because she put a booby trap in it. Now they're both...
He's dead!
Now they're both dead. Never! Oh, Holly, I told you not to open it.
So you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is...
This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Sholmes, isn't it?
Well, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm gonna have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this for my own peace of mind, of course. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so...
You mean you don't actually know the answer yet? Despite that knowing point of the finger before?
Miss Susie, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later.
Oh, well, if you say so, then I guess. I think we'd better examine examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then.
The real reason Iris is silent until now.
Why couldn't Iris open her mouth this whole time? Well, whatever is going on in the back of her, that note, that...
You think it's the note?
The bill that she has.
Okay.
Or it could be the key in her hand.
Oh, right. There's a key in her hand. That key she's holding. Look. I'm sure that wasn't in her hands before, was it?
No, you're quite right. It's appeared as if by magic.
That's strange. A big old iron key. Where did it materialize from?
Take that!
Nice job, Amber. Sorry, sweetie, but I don't think that's a good idea. The real reason for your silence until now is that the key is behind your back.
Ah!
When Mr. Sholmes was thrown into the air before... Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. That something is the key now in your hands, no doubt. The key to the chest.
You're so clever, Bruno.
Right. So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Sholmes' graphic demonstration, we can now well imagine what happened here.
But...
Professor Mikotoba also opened the metal chest, only to be punched into the air.
Yep. Punch in the face.
And land sprawled on the love seat.
Sete! But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts.
Huh?
What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask?
Well, for those curious details, I can think of only one explanation. Certainly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikotoba opened the chest completely unaware of what awaited him inside, the mask was flung into the air, The mask was flung into the air just as he was only to land neatly on his face when it fell on back down? What? The teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught on the unconscious professor's finger.
That doesn't make any sense. So, you mean to say that the stylish,
It's actually just a tablecloth.
Oh!
This is the great detective's office, after all, a place of miraculous deductions.
Shanna says that's pretty cool. Yeah, that it landed like that. Pretty interesting.
Would you expect nothing else? Oh, I like that little... That's a cute little pose. We haven't taken many pictures of this game.
Cute.
Da-da.
Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. Brilliant, Bruno.
Aha! That's right. Thus concludes Ryunosuke Naruhodo's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Okay.
So then, why didn't I make a fresh pot of tea for all of us?
Isn't your tea kettle broken?
Objection!
Wait, when did he get up? An admirably performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. Mr. Sholmes, you're alive! Ah, yes. If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction. Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is? From the look of her face? Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag just yet. Where is the cat, by the way? It's supposed to be hanging out in Sholmes' house. Do you remember the name of the cat? It's okay. So I put it to you again.
No.
Do you guys in the chat remember the name of the cat?
Does anyone remember the cat's name? I'm gonna say Gabby.
You were attempting to do something, Iris.
It's really a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup.
It must have been smashed when the professor opened the chest.
Oh dear, so many things seem to have broken here.
But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore.
In other words, her great secret is something else.
Let's pull our observation skills to work here one final time then.
Waggy the cat! Wagahai! Waggy! That's right, scientist, and B. Monep Mark V. Great job, guys! You guys remembered. Rebecca says, Wagahai! Tara says, Wagahai. I don't remember, says Sean. It's
That's
okay.
fine.
You guys got it. Wagahai or Waggy. Wagahai or Waggy. Or Wagahai or Waggy. Yep. Well...
Surely this time, at last, the knapsack is going to be the answer.
I'm not really sure why you're so intent on showing Iris's bag to be complicit in all of these events, Ryunosuke.
Because it's a sizable bag big enough to carry things.
Oh, big enough to carry things around, Mr. Naruhodo?
So, the knapsack might even see the limelight, you mean?
I really wouldn't like to say.
But there's a little piece of paper hanging
Man,
out.
her little knapsack is so huge. Like, I mean, it's so tiny. Like, it's got a little heart on it.
But we can clearly see the paper hanging out of it. No, I guess it's not the knapsack.
She even has little charms on it. Well, I guess we'll look at other things. There. Like, there was
Ah! There it is.
Oh, under the plate. Whoa, what's that?
Ah, look! There seems to be more papers there. Iris is trying to hide them underneath the tray.
The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo. It's an official Scotland Yard document.
What? But why would Iris have
We must ask her.
an official Scotland Yard document? You might want to sit up, sweetie.
Oh.
Take that!
That was pretty clever to try to hide it on the tea tray.
Yeah.
You were attempting to hide this case file, Iris. Ah, yes. Iris, as you well know now, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective.
Oh, no!
Okay. We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy laboratory earlier today, and Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Von Zeeks had gone missing. Clint Von Zeeks, yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I was asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean it was you, Iris? Those papers you have there are...
I'm sorry. Forgive me! Oh.
Aw, she tried to... But why did she knock the guy out? Oh, because it's booby-trapped. Never mind.
Yeah.
Alright then. Deduction complete. Elementary, my dear Holmes.
Yep, Iris is in trouble.
It's always in trouble.
She's a sweet girl. She's trying her best.
In truth,
She just stole some autopsy reports.
I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trap chest, but it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective Herlock Sholmes.
I'm sorry, Harley.
So you mean this autopsy report really is...
Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's.
The writing?
Your father's writing? What do you mean?
Iris? It must be something that's very hard for her to talk about. Ah, forgive me for interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it?
Poor Iris.
I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the seat has been somewhat forgotten.
Ah! Father!
Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest, yes? Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Would you be so kind to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel. Oh, yes, of course. I'll help you carry him upstairs.
So will I!
No, I can manage alone, thank you. You must have your tea to enjoy. Ah, we wouldn't want Iris's brood to stew, yes?
Poor Iris.
It seems like whenever they're about to reveal the identity of Iris's dad, Sherlock Holmes runs away.
But
because
how can you live 10 years of your life with never meeting your father? That has to be...
I mean, if he's traveling around the world or something, then...
What? Why wouldn't he have time to visit you?
Because of how
In
long...
10 years?
How long it took to travel around the world.
Then he should have taken his daughter with him, the cad.
Too dangerous. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging him upstairs like a trunk. Okay. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris the chance to talk more freely? Probably.
Oh, fine. Alright. Oh, we must use this opportunity to talk with Iris. She's been through enough. Find out what's going on. Whoever her father is, he should be ashamed of himself, jerk.
No, sweetie, you're sitting sideways. You gotta sit straight, or the mic
He
will
doesn't
echo.
deserve to be her father anymore. He's been 10 years gone. Put her up for adoption. I'm very mad at whoever her dad is.
You adopt little Iris.
I'll adopt her myself. At least I'll be there every week.
Alright.
She can come live with me. I'll
Bad
give her
idea.
this blanket.
Nope. Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your dad, I mean?
I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner.
Yes, and that notes about the case that they solved together are kept inside that metal chest.
That's right, Hurley told me. You see? He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet.
She's not sad. She's just talking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's really grateful that she hasn't met her dad in 11 years. She's traumatized. I'm taking these people to court, all of them.
All right.
Susato, Ryunosuke, Sholmes, you're all involved in child neglect, and we're taking Iris out of here. She's going to be in a loving home.
All right. Thank you, Amber.
You're welcome.
That's one way of describing it, I suppose.
Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like.
Well, that's only natural, I suppose.
You're just like any other girl of your age, except you have no family or father around.
I read that Daddy was a professor in medical science, so I studied and took my degree too.
Well, that's only natural, I suppose.
In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though, Iris.
Well, there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name.
Ah!
His name wasn't anywhere on any of the notes that he's written about his work with Hurley. But then one day...
That's what happened, isn't it? When you saw the autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right?
Yes.
So it was the handwriting in the report that caught your eye. Okay, the autopsy report.
Yet, a nerve has been struck. Sons of Gaming, correct.
When I saw the writing on the report, I could hardly believe it. I know the handwriting, I thought to myself.
Because it was the same as the writing you'd seen on your father's case notes, correct?
Exactly. I was so desperate to compare the two properly, I needed to see them side by side. So I asked the doctor in the laboratory, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd be allowed to even look at it there.
Oh, so you decided to steal it.
When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's.
And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report read... Oh.
It read Dr. John H. Wilson.
So, that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last.
I see. Or he could have been... The report could have been written by Mikotoba, and then the doctor was the one who added the signature.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I called myself Iris Wilson. And that also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories about Daddy's excitement times with Hurley. I decided that and then that I'd write the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Iris, I had no idea the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you.
Fascinating. I can only see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it.
Oh, yeah, Simon said he had a friend whose parents traveled a lot and they were over at holidays.
Yep. I must apologize, Iris. Who said that? Oh! This is really all my fault.
Someone put my heart back together, says Casey's World.
Hurley!
I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret.
I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize. I promise.
Well, yes. We'll go together, I think.
No, don't. We need it. Then let me look after it for you until we get there.
Clint's autopsy report has been entered into the court record.
I must go and water my herbs, I think. I see you all later then.
I mean, if it was like 3 years, it'd be one thing, but like 11 years?
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know where her father is?
Yep.
It's just like...
Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still...
Ah!
What?
What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes?
Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. So, you've noticed, I see.
But that would mean...
What on earth is the matter, Miss Susie? You've turned as white as a sheet. It's her father's handwriting. She saw the autopsy report.
It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all.
Huh? What? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that?
Because I know this writing very well. This writing is my father's.
What? Nani? Professor Mikotoba's?
Dun, dun, dun!
Indeed, it's true. And now you know. My dear fellows, I don't know anything, what? What on earth does this all mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my mind is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain, like, now. The autopsy report writing. So this autopsy report was actually penned by Professor Mikotoba then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fellow? Pray, take a deep breath and think again.
Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense.
It does?
10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain.
And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Ah, of course. He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's laboratory learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, correct? Which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document.
In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end.
I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson.
Which is very understandable, of course.
What a complicated situation this is. The details of Clint's autopsy report has been entered into the court record.
I feel so bad for Iris.
Your real partner. Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from published stories of your exploits.
Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris.
And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see.
And please, come straight to the answer, Mr. Sholmes!
I believe Iris explained it in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend.
And did this partner of yours make a record of all your cases then? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest?
Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world.
Oh?
Come on, guys. Seriously? But if the autopsy report and the records of your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would only be one logical conclusion. Pray, impress me. Your partner would have had to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susie's dad. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say? Allow me to introduce you to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba.
What?
Professor Mikotoba?
What? Everyone's saying that's not true, that's impossible.
Nani? Sholmes and Mikotoba.
Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson, Father?
No, my dear. I'm still my old self, Yujin Mikotoba, your father.
Oh, of course.
This is obviously too much for Susie to take in. I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all.
Iris's books.
I still remember the first time we met. Pray remind me when it was, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Yes, quite. 16 years ago, that's right. I just arrived from Japan with Shishiro and Genshin. I was in search for lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. Yes, the rents are devilishly high in that particular area. Indeed, that's right, so I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and expense. And was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical laboratory at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. Wait, he worked at the hospital? And the situation for our cohabitation led us to pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe, it was a mere 6 years we had a great many adventures. But in the last day of Mikotoba's stay in Great Britain, the most infamous of cases presented itself. The case with which you become familiar with yourselves, the Professor's killings, the Hound of the Baskervilles. After the trial, Shishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising given the circumstances, I would say. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details recorded by my trusty chronicle remain in the metal chest. This is amazing! Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner!
Dr. Watson!
Yep.
Father...
Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look.
You have a child? As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now.
And that is, my dear?
What do you think it is? You know very well what it is, Father. The unresolved matter of Iris's father?
Oh, of course! I'd almost forgotten about that one. Well done, Susie. I should have seen this coming, I suppose.
Dude, take care of your daughter, dude.
Take her back to Japan with you.
Oh, what a weirdo. Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures that are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes?
That is indeed what I told young Iris, yes.
But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, Father, and you wrote all those case notes, then Iris's father must be you.
No! Upon my word, Miss Susie. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasp the art of deduction. What?
Excuse me. Well, you've always told me, Father.
Oh my gosh.
Is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
And you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've always accepted that. But all this about Iris.
Oh, there it is. Susie's ice-cold stare. Now, hold on a minute, Susie. It was a very complicated one.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
I mean, it's really not what you think.
Oh, I'm thinking things. Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is.
Uh-oh, there are the eyes. They're ice-cold and red-hot just before she... No, not really. You've got the wrong idea. End of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man.
Susato, take down!
That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes, when did you get all dressed up? Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion.
But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go?
Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. So, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes? Really, I must give Susie a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later.
What?
Our carriage awaits downstairs already.
Unbelievable! Men.
You haven't changed one, have you?
Iota.
I mean, really, I visit your home after 10 long years, and when I open the chest in the fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. And, as it wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all of this.
Father, please, go with Mr. Sholmes now.
What?
They could have the same mom. I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests.
Wait, you think that Susie's mom is actually from Britain? Or...
Yeah, it's possible that It's possible that he said that her mom died, but in reality, her mom didn't die.
But, whoa. One quick question before we jump down this rabbit hole. He was in London for 16 years.
So maybe, like...
Wait.
Maybe he had Susie. Maybe his mom had Susie. They dropped her off in Japan.
But,
then he went back to England, and then they had Iris.
But what? That doesn't...
He could have had the same wife the whole time.
Was Susie alone for most of her childhood?
Yeah. She lived with her grandmother.
She only lived with her grandmother. She didn't live with her mother.
Yeah, so she was informed that her mother died. So she never really met her mom, only her dad, and Iris never really met her dad before. So it's possible that Susie only lived with her grandmother and her dad, and Iris only lived with her mom and Sholmes. So they never, like... It's possible that they have the same mom and dad. It's possible. It's conceivable.
Okay, alright.
It is possible.
Alright, finish your line.
I've no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you completely.
Susie...
And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams.
Well, yeah, okay. Very well then. I will speak again later, my dear. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in the battle. And in researching and reaching a decision. A decision, huh? Oh, about whether to go back to Japan, I suppose. Wow.
Well...
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth. And that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
Okay. That was exciting.
Well, it's possible that he married his wife in Britain and then he told Susie that she died in childbirth because he didn't want to explain to her that her mom couldn't come back and see her.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe he was planning on, like, 5 years later to be like, by the way, your mom didn't die in childbirth, here she is.
Your mom is fine. Or, she isn't fine.
But then maybe later on, after having Iris, his wife actually did die.
That's very plausible. So they really are sisters, then. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I've actually heard rumors, like, on the internet about Susie, but I don't think I'm supposed to talk about it.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The fact that she might be part, like, British, but I don't know.
Or she could, I mean, maybe she really is Sherlock Holmes' like daughter. I don't know. So the final chapter begins tomorrow. Then, that's crazy.
I don't think Sherlock Holmes ever. Sherlock Holmes is single for life. There's no way anyone would marry that guy. Look at him. He's more than a little crazy.
I can't believe that we start the
just saying.
The final chapter begins tomorrow then. Because I like to keep these like really easy for people to find. You know, when they watch it back. So this was The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles HD Part 42. Iris's real father revealed, case number 9.
They could be half-sisters. Everyone's saying they're half-sisters, but... I mean, there is one chance in a million they could have the same mom.
I guess. I don't know. That's a really interesting...
I just don't feel like Mikatoba would be, like, cheating on ladies like that. I just feel like he's more gentlemanly than that, so...
I mean,
I don't think he's some kind of Hollywood, like, person that goes around like that. I just think... I think they have the same mom. That's my opinion.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, this is what is going to be happening today, because I didn't think we were actually going to get to the next case. Or actually, I thought we were going to get to the next case relatively quickly, but that whole thing took quite a while. So, Wario will be starting up around 6:40, 6:35 is the plan. And then I will be doing, after that, your... Marvel stream will be starting up at 9, and then I will be doing, I think I have an Ultimate stream tonight of, what's the name of that game? Of Xenoblade, I believe. I don't remember. I might, but I don't know. I mean, I would be up for it, but...
Hey guys, don't forget to like the video.
Yes,
leave a
there was
comment.
120 of you guys watching, so make sure you guys smash that like button.
Please leave a comment, even if it's just comment.
And it would be great if we could get, like, at least, based on how active the stream was, if we can get, like, over 50 comments. That'd be fantastic. Like and share the video after the stream is concluded. Wario will be kicking off at around 6:45, just enough time for us to have, like, some dinner.
Brady says sure.
Brady says sure for Xenoblade. Or I can do the finale of Metroid tonight. It doesn't really matter.
Whichever one, guys.
Whichever. I don't have to do an Ultimate stream tonight. I'd like to finish Metroid, personally, but... yeah, all the streams are changing times because we finished this episode relatively easily, or earlier. Thank you, everybody, for watching. The final chapter is tomorrow. It starts. We find out more about Shom's partner, more about the autopsy, the real killer behind everything, and probably head back to the courtroom where things are going to get very, very interesting. But this is not going to be the end of our Ace Attorney series after we get to the final chapter. There are special bonus episodes that are about an hour in length, known as special contents, which you could see over here. They have to do with escapades right here. And Amber and I will be doing each one of these.
The Ronst magazine.
The magazine.
The Ronst magazine.
These are about like 45-minute cases or whatever. They're not very long, but they're gonna be fun to do, and they will be little streams. So
I am furious at Mikitoba for not seeing. Even when he sees his daughter 11 years later, he doesn't have any conscience of having to tell her that he's her father.
Yeah, that's not.
What a.
Because
bad person.
Probably because he abandoned her whole life. Like,
but every day he's abandoning her more. She's suffering every day that he doesn't tell her what's going on.
All right, so anyway, guys,
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have some Chinese food, and then we'll see you for Wario live at 6:45. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Capcom, for providing a copy of this game. And I've decided that the stream schedule is again Wario, Marvel, followed by the finale of Super Metroid. So that's what's happening tonight. All right, guys. Bye-bye. God bless and happy gaming. Thank you so much for the new members. And we had a peak audience today of about 100 and... thought I saw 40. So that's great. Leave a comment, guys. Bye.
God bless. Happy gaming. See ya.